Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel. This reading vlog that you're about to see, it was originally intended to be this romance reading vlog where I read these 3 romance books, which it is, you know. I did end up reading all 3 of these romance books, so you will see this. But I also ended up reading 2 other books that are not romance books because for like the beginning of February, I just wasn't really in the mood for romance, but I was still in the mood to vlog my reading. And so there's an additional 2 books included in this reading vlog, and now I don't know what this reading vlog is, but it's just a reading vlog of me reading 5 books in the first 2 weeks of February and just hanging out and chilling. The first book I started with was the X Talk, and so let's roll back to the clips when I started the X Talk. This afternoon I have started the X Talk, and it's a Sunday today. I've just kind of been laying on the couch for most of the day because I've been feeling like super crampy and just like bleh all morning today. So I've just been laying on the couch reading this, and I got 118 pages into this book, and I've got to say I'm really enjoying this. I did not realize that this book involves like fake dating as well, I guess. But this is like taking it to a new extreme because not only does it involve like, I guess, the concept of fake dating, but it's fake exes. So they're not even technically actually fake dating, but they're fake imagining their entire relationship. So they have to pretend that they're exes and that they have all these things that they know about each other that they actually don't. And it's just like really interesting. It's really unique. And I love the whole, you know, like radio host thing. It kind of reminds me of like how I love stories that you're kind of like following a newsroom of people, you know. Some of my favorite movies are like, you know, Nightcrawler, where like you're following a newsroom, or like The Morning Show, you know, like I really love shows like that or movies like that where you're following like news crews. And so this kind of gives me that similar vibe because they are like radio and they're doing like podcast type of stuff. I bet the audiobook for this book is probably really great because of the whole radio and podcast element to it. I bet you it sounds really cool. Also, I'm just really enjoying these 2 characters because I didn't realize that Dominic is Korean, which is just so freaking adorable, and their chemistry is really cute so far. I didn't realize there was going to be an age gap between these 2 and that she's older than him. I don't want to say like by how many years because she doesn't quite find that out till a little bit later on, but I love that. And I feel like I rarely ever read romances where the female character is older than the male character. Like I just rarely ever find that in books. Love their banter so much. They're so cute together, and I love the idea of this like X Talk podcast. Like I would probably listen to this. Like it sounds like a really cool and interesting concept. Yeah, I adore it so hard so far. Hello, this is editing me here, and I'm realizing as I'm editing this that I never even told you what the X Talk is even actually about. So basically what's happening in this story is that we're following this girl Shay who is working at this radio station in Seattle, which is also another part of the reason why I enjoyed this book so much, is because I live in Washington. And there's this guy Dominic that just comes to work at the radio station. He's like really fresh, just got out of college, and she's been at the station for 10 years. She gets this idea because their radio station is like struggling, like it's not gonna make it. And so she gets this idea that they should do this show called the X Talk, where they bring in 2 exes to give like relationship advice and talk about what went wrong in their relationship and how like other relationships could benefit from learning these things from them. And she thinks it's like a really cool idea, and her boss like loves the idea, but he doesn't want to hire like more people to do it. So he's like, you and Dominic have really great banter, so why we're gonna put you both on the X Talk and you're gonna like tell the public that you're exes. So when I was saying earlier that this book involves fake dating, but it's even like a step up from that, it's because they have to tell the public that they have dated before and now they're exes. So it's like, it's funny because they have to get to know each other well enough that they can pretend to be exes and it'll come off as like realistic. I don't know why this made me laugh so hard. When he says that she's cool, and she's like, cool is the Kevin Jonas of compliment. It's like saying your favorite color is beige. I don't know why it made me laugh. Hello, it's a little bit later in the night now. It's like 11:30, and I haven't been reading too much since I last updated you because I'm only 180 pages in. But these last few hours I've been kind of like eating and doing some other things. You don't care about that, but I forgot to mention earlier that something that I'm really enjoying about this book as well is our main character Shay's relationship with her dad. I always really appreciate in books when the main characters have very interesting and complex relationships with their parents, and Shay's story is especially interesting and touching because her dad passed away when she was a teenager, when she was in her senior year of high school, and her dad is like a huge part of the reason why she wanted to like get into radio in the first place, you know, because her dad was always really big into radio and they used to listen to the radio together a lot. And so I just really appreciate the story about her and her dad, and I think it's like a really beautiful part of the story. And again, I'm just cracking up so much throughout this book. Like I keep putting in an orange little tab anytime that I like laugh or giggle or like that it makes me happy, and I have so many orange tabs, so that's a really great sign. And I've just been reading most of the day today, and I'm a little bit more than halfway through it, so I think I'm just gonna read a little bit more tonight and then probably try to finish this tomorrow morning, because I don't know how late I'm gonna stay up tonight, and since I've been kind of reading all day, I might just like take a break and, you know, either listen to some podcasts or watch some YouTube or something instead. But you know, reading this book is really making me want to listen to podcasts. I don't know what it is, but like hearing these characters talk about their podcast and like just the conversation revolves so much around podcasts that it's making me want to listen to podcasts. It's making me want to start a podcast. Good morning, it is the next morning. Remember when I said I was gonna read more last night? Well, I didn't. Now I am reading this morning. I'm on page 218 and I'm still really enjoying this book. It's very cute. It's giving me all the feels, and it's exactly what I love in romance books. It's exactly what I look for. The only thing that's like slightly a little tad annoying is the fact that we're now getting into, you know, the conflict of the book. Like every single romance book, there's always like some kind of conflict before the couple can, you know, eventually be together. It's just like one of the things that happens in romance books every time. It's not a surprise, but it's always just like my least favorite part of the book. Like, I don't know why, I always find myself starting to skim whenever we get to the scenes where it's like some kind of internal conflict, like, but do they actually want me or do they not? And it's all this like, you know, miscommunication, misunderstandings, all of that. But I'm just about probably getting to that part right now, so I feel like I'm starting to, you know, want to skim a little bit, but I won't. But I want to, but I won't. Look who came to grace us with his presents. Mr. Tanky! Mr. Tanky wants a snuggle.
Oh, he does.
Look at him. Wants right in between the legs, don't you, Tanky? That's what you're here for. That is exactly what you're here for. Tanky is here for snuggling. And Rachel is editing her video over there, which will probably be up by the time this video goes up, so you can watch it. What video are you working on?
I'm working on the Evermore theme bullet journal.
Ooh, shit. Ooh, shit.
It's her journal.
Yeah, it's my bullet journal, and she did an Evermore theme, and it's so cool. It's quite stunning. I'll leave a link down below. And she's also wearing a very cute jacket.
I got it for Christmas.
That my mom got her for Christmas. Oh my goodness.
Little faces on your knee.
Look at this cutie.
Wrap him up, please.
What do you mean?
Like, take that other little teal blanket and wrap it on top or something.
Tinky's all nice and snuggled, huh, Tinky? You gotta get that fucking camera out of me. Oh my god, he's so cute. Oh my god, look at his lips. Ah. Okay, I'm gonna leave him alone now. I'm gonna finish this book. Finished the X talk, and goddamn, this might be like a 4.5 out of 5 for me. Like, I really had a good time reading this book. And there was like a scene towards the end where I almost got kind of emotional. Like, it was just really beautiful and really stunning. I actually found the conflict in this book to be pretty interesting, and because it was like revolving around their radio and podcasting, it was actually pretty, like, I don't know, it wasn't like a twist or anything, but there was something that happened in the plot and I was like, oh shit. Like, it really caused things to heat up for them, and I actually thought their conflict at the end was like totally valid. Like, sometimes I feel like in romance books there's just like conflict for the sake of conflict, but in this case I think it was actually really like interesting and really understandable, and I don't know, it was just really good, and I really adored them together so much. This book really like makes me want to start a podcast. Like, I don't know what it is about it, but just hearing about the radio, hearing about the podcast and like the journalism, like I guess that's just always something I've been interested in. There was also this one part that I just relate to this main character Shay so much, and how she talks about how adulthood looks kind of different than what she imagined it would be. This isn't a spoiler or anything, but she has this really great quote in this one part of the book where she says, "I'm almost 30 and I don't know if I feel any closer when I was 21 or even 25. There's so much pressure to have all of this shit figured out and I don't have a clue what I'm doing. I want the kind of marriage my parents had, and I maybe wanted a family, but that's not something I can even wrap my mind around yet. I can only cook like 2 things competently. Most of what I eat comes from meal kits. I have a gym membership, but I never go to the gym. I work most weekends. Sometimes I feel like I'm playing at being an adult." Related to that, especially because, not that I'm like close to 30, but you know, I just turned 26 and I've just been having these same chaotic feelings, like feeling like I'm not a real adult, I'm just playing at being an adult, and like feeling like your life is a mess and you should have had everything figured out by this age. Like, I just really related to Shay in that regard. And God, just still, the relationship with Shay's dad is just a really big part of this story, and it's so beautiful and so stunning, and it was making me nearly emotional reading about it. And I just love that this book takes place in Seattle. It's very like Pacific Northwest vibes. But yeah, overall, I enjoyed this even more than I was expecting to. Like, there was none of this book that was like super cringy or cheesy to me. Like, I was just smiling the whole time. This was, for the most part, a really lighthearted, fun, romantic book. Like, I will say there definitely is a few moments where it gets kind of heavy, at least talking about like Shay's dad passing away, you know, like that's definitely a more heavier topic brought up in the story. But for the most part, this is just a really lighthearted, fun, flirty romance, and it was exactly what I was in the mood for. I enjoyed it so much, and I want to listen to this podcast so bad. Like, I legit wish this was like a real thing that existed in the world. And yeah, as I said, this book is just making me want to start a podcast. I don't even know, it sounds so fun. If you were to start a podcast, what would the topic be? The topic would be Taylor Swift? Like, we would start a podcast and it would be about talking about Taylor Swift. Damn, that'd be cool.
Or movies.
Or movies?
Yeah, one of the other.
What would it be called?
I don't know. I haven't thought about this.
If it was about movies, what would it be called?
Because I would call it something pod.
Ooh. Something pod.
Like, if Prometheus was like my favorite movie. Yeah.
We don't like any movies that start with P.
Promising Young Woman, Pieces of a Woman. But those are like really long words. I mean, like one letter. I mean, not one letter. One word.
I see.
I mean, your podcast would be about books, so.
Not necessarily.
I'd just be on my own.
I already have a booktube channel, so
Oh, sorry.
I feel like a podcast would be like something different.
Don't mean to disrespect.
I feel like having a Taylor Swift podcast would be so fun. But like, who'd want to listen to that?
Everybody.
If it was a Taylor Swift podcast, I feel like I could come up with really cool names.
Everybody listens to Taylor Swift.
This is me podcasting. Dang!
Why is he so cute? I can't handle this.
Look at Tank going to town on my heating bed.
It's so cold. No, Tanky, don't bite it. Tank! Tank!
Tank, lay on it and do not bite it.
Oh my god, it's a donut.
Oh, look at him. Oh, now he's all cozy. Jacked my heating bed. Gosh, something else that I forgot to tell you about that I really like about this book is that Shay and her best friend are always like, they ask each other, what would a mediocre white man do? White mediocre men are more likely to be confident in the things that they're doing than females are, and how females are always like second guessing themselves and wondering if they're good enough to like be doing certain things in their life, and how most oftentimes white men can be so mediocre at something and think they're like the shit, you know? So it's like, it's so funny how they always ask themselves like, what would a mediocre white man do? Because he would probably be like so confident, and it's how they like try to boost each other up, like, we got this. It's just really entertaining, and I really loved that, and now I feel like I'm gonna ask myself that whenever I'm feeling doubtful, what would a mediocre white man do? Hello there. I thought it would be dramatic if I spun in the chair. Anyways, it's like 11 o'clock at night, and I just wanted to let you know that I have been reading If I Disappear all day long. I am currently 204 pages into this book and I have less than 100 pages left, and this book so far has been very interesting. I immediately started reading this book after I got it in the mail. The amazing Tanya from Rustic Book Reviews just sent me this book off my Amazon wish list, and I was so freaking excited about it that I just literally jumped into it like as soon as I got it in the mail. And this book is a thriller. So this book follows this girl named Sarah. She listens to this true crime podcast that is run by this girl named Rachel. Very mysteriously, this girl Rachel goes missing, and she like stops uploading on her podcast and all of this stuff, just like complete silence on social media. And so Sarah takes it upon herself to try and figure out what happened to this girl, right? She literally goes to the ranch that this girl lives on, and she's trying to get answers and figure out what happens. I don't want to spoil anything for you, so that's all you need to know, I guess, going into this book. And this book is very interesting. I feel like we are following a character who is perhaps maybe mentally unstable just a little bit. Like, she's not completely there, but because of that, I feel like her character is just so fascinating and so interesting to read from the point of view of. And also, the ranch vibes in this book are very great. Like, I feel like I'm on a ranch while I'm reading this book. It's very visual, and also I don't trust anybody in this book. Like, not a single soul do I trust. And also, there's this guy in this book named Jed who she talks to a lot, and it reminds me of that guy Jed from The Bachelor, which like, but you know, besides that, I'm enjoying it. I will say things are happening at a very slow pace, and I'm just very curious to see where this book is going. I'm also very curious to get to the end of this book because right now this book is averaging a pretty low rating on Goodreads. It has like a 3.4 or something out of 5, which is just pretty low. I mean, I know it's not actually that low, but usually for my personal taste, if a book has lower than a 3.5, then I'm like, what's wrong with it? Like, it's kind of a red flag to me. So I am curious to see how this ending goes because I feel like the end of this book is going to determine how I feel about it. And I'm curious to know if the low reviews are because of the slow pacing of the book or if it's because of a terrible ending. So I guess time will only tell. Just finished If I Disappear. I've got to say, I was not a huge fan of the way that this book ended. I feel like the entire time I was reading this book, it was probably looking to be like a 3-star for me, and then that ending probably bumped it down to like a 2-star. I don't know, I have a lot of trouble like suspending my disbelief for this one because I just find it a little bit hard to believe that this main character, Sarah, would go to these extremes of trying to find out what happened to this girl that she doesn't even know. And it's like, she doesn't even know for sure that this girl went missing. She just has this feeling, right? That she just has this feeling that this girl's gone missing. I just don't understand someone going to this extreme. Like, this is to the level of like, it's kind of stalkery vibes. Like, she's totally a stalker and she's like obsessed with this girl Rachel, and it's just like, why? Like, I have so many questions, and the main one is why. The ending was very like anticlimactic. I feel like this is one of those books where the author is attempting to do like a double twist, but it's just so obvious that it's like not that surprising. I don't know, I feel like this is one of those books that had so much potential. It had a really great atmosphere at times, but for the most part, I was always asking myself why. This is a book that I'm literally gonna forget about by like tomorrow. I wanted to love this one, and it just ended up being so disappointing by the end.
Followed by the football team. Outside, exploding cheers. Ooh, ring out across the field from the Washington High folks. Shit, we gonna get louder. Oh yeah.
Hello, it is the next morning, and I wanted to update you because yesterday I was able to get the audiobook checked out from the library for Concrete Rose by Angie Thomas. So yesterday when I went grocery shopping for a few hours, I started listening to the audiobook and I got a pretty decent length into it. And then I've been listening to it this morning on the way to work, and now I'm 48% of the way through the audiobook. So I'm like nearly halfway done already. And so I brought the book with me just because I want to follow along with it when I'm on break today if I listen to the audiobook. But yeah, so far I'm really enjoying it. I'm loving like getting back in the world of like this family, but I like that this book, if you didn't know, this book follows Star's dad from The Hate U Give. It follows Maverick when he was a teenager, and it's just really interesting. I love hearing the story behind Seven, which is Star's older brother, if you didn't know. But this book is just so amazing so far, and there is almost just a scene right now that made me cry. Like while I was driving, I was just like, it was just really sad and really beautiful, and I was like, fuck. But yeah, it's wonderful. And now I'm gonna go to work all day. Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, today's been busy. I'm finally on my break eating some food because I'm starving. But like, wow, remember when I said I hated February? Well, this is exactly why. It's just so busy constantly, and there's not a lot of time to like, you know, think or like breathe. We got this new like ringer thing for our drive-through window because we do have a restaurant, but we do have a pickup window as an option. And so at our pickup window, our old like alarm ringer thing went out, so we had to get a new one. And the new one that we got plays all different kinds of sounds, like you can adjust it. So right now we have it playing the Indiana Jones like theme song, like dun, 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 like anytime somebody comes up to the window. And it's super funny because it cracks me up every single time somebody rolls up. It sounds like Indiana Jones is like rolling into the restaurant, and it's really funny. But also like after it happens every single time, I think we're all like losing our minds. Yeah, and we can't figure out how to change it, so we're all just like going crazy. I made some amazing mac and cheese. Can you hear that? Every time there's someone in the drive-thru.
I saw some muffin, which made me stop at McDonald's on the highway. Dang, I should ask for mustard. What the hell? Mustard? Want a McMuffin? I like mustard.
Hi. Hello, good night. It is nighttime now. It's like 11, and it has been a really freaking long day. You know, as I said, February, it's not a fun time. It's in full swing. It was busy, really busy today, and I'm exhausted. But the good news is that I was able to listen to Concrete Rose for the entirety of my break today, and then I was listening to it on the way home and a little bit when I got home tonight, and now I'm 83% of the way through the audiobook. So it says I only have an hour and 20 minutes left on the audio. Like, I don't know exactly where that puts me in the book, but I can imagine I'm getting close to the end. And so I'm just gonna spend the rest of the night listening to this audiobook since I don't really have the motivation to like read with my eyeballs. And I'm really enjoying this audiobook. I think it's really well done. I love the way that this guy is voicing Maverick. He's just, I don't know, he just does a really great job with it. There was another scene when I was driving on the way home that like almost made me cry listening to the audiobook. I think I've discovered that I really do like following like stories that are young adult where a teenager is gonna become a parent and they have to figure out like how to parent when they're still kind of a kid themselves. It kind of reminds me of that book With the Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo. It kind of has like a similar vibe to that because in that book, you know, we're following like a young teen mom, and in this it's like a young teen dad. I can't even imagine the struggles and the hardships that come with being a teen parent. And so I'm always like really fascinated to read books with this particular perspective in it. Yeah, I'm really enjoying this so far. I can't wait to finish it right now. Hi, it's the next morning, and last night I finished Concrete Rose, and it was really freaking beautiful. Like the ending was so beautiful. It like gave me goosebumps a little bit, and I just really enjoyed the story. Like there was a couple more scenes towards the end that I just thought were so powerful and so moving, and I don't know, I feel like I'm torn between giving this like, I think I want to give it like 4.5 stars just because I didn't enjoy this one I think as much as I enjoyed The Hate U Give, because I just think The Hate U Give is like the most god tier of all the god tiers. But I still really enjoyed this one, and I still think this one really does touch on a lot of really important social issues in the same way that The Hate U Give does. But I just really enjoyed hearing Maverick's story and how he became the dad that he is. And anyways, yeah, I'm off to work all day again today, and I'm exhausted.
He starts to move back to them, then turns around. Sorry, he says, leaving between me and the window.
Probably about time that I start reading one of the next romance books that I want to read for this video. It's been about a week since I finished the X Talk, and to be perfectly honest with you, I just haven't really been in the mood for romance lately, and kind of just like reading in general. It's just been a struggle lately, so I just haven't been reading a whole lot. But now I think I'm finally ready to pick up one of these books. I'm not totally sure which one I'm feeling at the moment. Also, it's like really fucking cold out today. It's like 27 degrees and it's supposed to snow a whole lot coming up later this week. But the thing is, it's 27 degrees, but the weather app says it feels like it's 16 degrees because it's fucking cold as shit outside. And we have this weather alert for like wind right now, so it's like icy cold wind and we're gonna get snow and I'm stressed. Many days since I've last updated this vlog, and I feel like I'm getting frustrated with myself because I keep starting so many different books and I get like 50 pages in and then I just can't get in to anything that I'm reading, or I'm just like not in the mood for it, or I'm just like too anxious or like distracted to read. But I wanted to let you know that I did start The Soulmate Equation by Christina. Like, finally. This was a book I actually intended to read for this reading vlog originally. This book takes place in a universe where a DNA test can determine your love interest. Like, it can help you figure out your compatibility with another person. It kind of reminds me of, like, you know, the book The One by John Mars. But the thing I guess that's different about this world as opposed to that world is in that book you take a DNA test to find the one. You know, you're taking it to find your soulmate. And that book, I guess, is implying that there's like one person that's made for everyone. Whereas in this book, it's more like it's a dating service. You take a DNA test and then they give you like a percentage of like how compatible you are with certain people. And it's like incredibly rare for you to get like over like a 90% compatibility with someone. So far, it's just okay. Like, I will say I'm not a huge fan of either of the main characters so far. Something that I do like about our main character, though, is that she has a daughter, which is pretty unique. I do like reading about single moms because I find them to be really inspiring and freaking strong. And so I do enjoy her character for that reason. But so far, the male character is just kind of like your typical douchey, rich male love interest kind of dude. Like, I don't know, I'm just not super invested so far, but I really do like the concept in this book, so I guess that's what's keeping me interested in wanting to read and see where this goes, because I do like the idea of like a dating service or a dating app that you can literally take a DNA test and then figure out how compatible you are with certain people. And I like the kind of explanation on the science behind like how they figured this out and how they got this to work. I don't know, I just find that very fascinating, but it's probably because I'm like such a nerd and I love like sciencey things like that. But so far the romance has been just okay for me. Oh, good morning. It's Friday morning now. Last night I read up to page 152 of The Soulmate Equation, and I feel like this is a very, very slow burning romance because I'm on page 152 and these characters are just now, like, just barely starting to get to know each other. So it is a very slow burn. I still don't know if I care a whole lot about the characters, to be honest. Like, there's a few things that I'm like, oh, that's cool, but I don't feel like emotionally attached to them in any way. Also, this morning it's freezing and I'm on the way to work, and I work all day today. I worked all day yesterday. I'm very tired. And you know, as I said, February is like our busiest month ever, and then tonight is supposed to snow. Right now it is 21 degrees, but when you scroll down the weather app, it said it feels like 7, because of how freaking cold the wind is. We're having some crazy wind lately and it just feels like ice, just like cutting through your skin. And then tonight it's supposed to snow at midnight and it's supposed to snow through Monday. So like that is just great. I kind of want it to be spring. I'm kind of over it. Alright, I'm home now. It's very late and it's snowing. Gosh, look at Tanky's porch party is frozen. There's freaking ice everywhere. It's so cold out here. Yeah, no. Oh, I'm home. I'm sorry I didn't film anything today, but it was literally such a busy Friday. I was just working all day. I didn't even get a break today. I worked like a 10-hour shift straight, maybe 10.5 hours. I don't even know how long of a day. But I got home like almost around 9, and then I just ate a quick dinner. We watched Hell's Kitchen, and then we watched The Hustler, and now it's midnight and it's snowing. I knew it was gonna snow tonight, but I didn't think it was gonna snow as much as it already is. So that kind of sucks because I'm working tomorrow night. So I think my dad might have to come pick me up because my car sucks in the snow. I think I'm gonna try to read some more of it tonight. Will I finish it tonight? Probably not because I'm super exhausted, but we will do our best. Oh my god. Look at it out there. My window is like crusted with snow.
Your shit out there, so I had to wash you, baby. First snow day is going rough, huh?
Stepped in his shit, had to take a bath.
Now we're spanking clean. Oh yeah. Oh
god. Oh no. Oh.
Tank, you okay? You okay, Tank?
He's good? Good to go? Oh my god. Just a lot of snow for one night. Last night, I only read about like up to page 200 of the Soulmate Equation. I barely was able to read anything last night because I was so tired. But I still pretty much feel the same about it. I'm just not really enjoying it very much. So I don't know, like I'm probably gonna try to finish it tonight after work, but I might just like skim the end because I'm still not really feeling it with all these characters. Anyways, I'm leaving off to work right now. And it's Saturday night and it's snowing so much outside that my dad's giving me a ride because my car sucks in the snow. So it should be interesting. And we're picking up my coworker Josh because he also can't drive in this weather. Hey, it is much later in the evening. It's nearly midnight now. And as you can see, I suck at vlogging because I didn't vlog any of the snow adventures. But turns out my dad's little Subaru car is really great at getting through the snow because it has a 4-wheel drive, so we were totally fine in my dad's car. It wasn't really that bad out on the main roads, but it was just like our parking lot and like some of the back roads are really bad. It just sucks because I just feel like it's expected to snow more tomorrow, so I feel like it's just gonna freeze overnight tonight and then snow more, and then it's just gonna be even more of a mess. Busy night at work tonight. We made it home safe. Everything was all good. I took a quick shower to wash my hair because it was so grungy and it smelled so gross, and I hadn't washed it in like almost like 5 days, maybe even longer. I am planning on jumping back into the Soulmate Equation. I do want to finish it tonight because I'm kind of like done with it and over it, to be honest. I think I might skim until I get to the end to see if anything more interesting happens, but if I'm being honest, I just don't really care a whole lot about these characters in this. I think my issue with this book is that the premise is really cool and it sounds really interesting, and I'm really invested in the idea of this app and like this dating service. I think it's a really cool idea, but I don't know, like there's something about this romance specifically that I just can't get invested in. I just don't really like either of the main characters very much, and there's just nothing like grabbing me, you know what I mean? Usually in a romance there will be something immediately that hooks me, that grabs me, but in this book it's just not happening. Good morning. It is Valentine's Day. It is snowing once again. But I did want to update you that last night I finished the Soulmate Equation. There was something that happened towards the end of the book that I was kind of surprised by, and I appreciated it because I feel like it made the book less cheesy, in my opinion, but I still, at the end of the day, just like didn't really connect with this at all. I just didn't really connect with these two main characters for some reason. So I feel like for that reason alone, I have to give it 2 stars, just because I didn't care a whole lot. I probably would have DNF'd this if it wasn't for Christina Lauren. Like, I don't know why, I'm just more willing to give Christina Lauren a chance, just because I'm so familiar with their writing style and their characters, and I know I'm more likely to love Christina Lauren than to dislike them. So I think that's why I always push through their books, even if I'm not really enjoying it that much, because I know you're probably wondering, like, why didn't you just DNF it a long time ago because you knew you weren't liking it? But it's like with authors that I already love, that are like some of my all-time favorite authors, I'm more likely to try and finish the book anyways, just to see if it gets better. And with this one, it did get a little bit better towards the end, but it still wasn't enough for me to want to rate it any higher than a 2-star. And today is Valentine's Day, and I have a couple different things that I need to do today. Like, for one, you know, get my car, you know, out of the snow. Hopefully I want to try to like dig out my car out of the snow. And then I have a video that I want to film today. Just a couple different things going on, but I would also like to start reading Honey Girl as the last book that I'm going to read for this video finally. But like, how poetic that I saved Honey Girl for Valentine's Day, and I did not even intend to do that. And this one is one that I'm really excited about. Like, this is the one that I probably have the highest hopes for out of the 3 romance novels that I've previously read. Look at that snow coming down again. Okay, you can barely tell, but it's still snowing. I heard this song again the other day, and I forgot how obsessed I am with this song. I used to listen to it all the time in high school. I think it came out my senior year of high school, and I just love it. I still love it. If you save yourself from marriage, you're a bore. If you don't save yourself from marriage, you're a horrible person. If you don't have a drink, then you're a prude. But they'll call you a drunk as soon as you down the first one. If you can't lose the weight, then you're just fat. But if you lose too much, then you're on crack. You're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't. So you might as well just do whatever you want. So make lots of noise, kiss lots of boys, or kiss lots of girls, if that's something you're into. And I'm straight, it never gets a little too straight. Roll up a joint, or don't. Just follow your arrow wherever it points. Yeah, follow your arrow wherever it points. It's like now 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I've finished filming the video that I needed to film, and then I edited it so that it can go up tomorrow, hopefully. And now it's 3 o'clock, so now I'm gonna start Honey Girl. It has still been snowing all day. It was supposed to stop snowing around like noon, and it was supposed to start raining, but it's not. It's just still snowing. And I went out to our cars, and I like tried to dig out the cars, and it's gonna be really hard to get our cars out because there's like a fucking little hill of snow packed behind our cars. So that should be fun, but I feel so bad because Rachel and Obed just had to take Tank to the vet because he's been like shitting his brains out all night, like with really bad diarrhea, and he's been throwing up, and they don't know what is wrong with him. So hopefully it's nothing too crazy. They're at the vet right now, so hopefully everything is okay with him. I just feel so bad. Oh, poor little guy. Snowing. It's about 11 o'clock at night right now, and it was a pretty long day, surprisingly, because Rachel and Obed, as I said, they had to go and take Tank to the vet earlier, and then when they were on the way back, their car got stuck in our parking lot at the apartment. Like, they were literally like going to turn into the parking spot, and then they got stuck at like an angle trying to turn into it. and they like FaceTime me, and then I went down there with like, we don't have a shovel, you know, for snow, so I went down there with like our broom and I was like trying to get it. And then luckily we had neighbors that like live in this apartment building. They live on the second floor, I think, and we see them from time to time. He was such an angel. He like came out and like helped us like dig the car out of the spot it was in, and then like drive forward, and we put like mats under the tires and drove so we could get it back in the spot. And it was just so freaking sweet. Like, people that just like take time out of their day to help other people are like so freaking generous and just so sweet. Tank is okay. They just put him on some different medication to help him like stop with the diarrhea and all that, so hopefully that will help him. And yeah, and then tonight we actually ended up watching, we watched the movie To All the Boys I've Loved Before, Forever and Always, or Always and Forever, like the third movie that just came out, and it was so freaking cute. I like really enjoyed it. Like, I wasn't a huge fan of the second movie. Like, I loved the first one so much, and then the second movie I thought was just okay, but this one was so cute. It was like so amazing. The New York vibes were amazing. It was honestly making me wish I went to college in New York, like, not gonna lie. And then after that, we finally finished watching Firefly Lane. We've been like watching this show for like almost 2 weeks now, and we finally watched the last 3 episodes tonight, and that show is so good. Oh my god, it's so good. And I'm hoping that there's a second season. Like, there needs to be a second season because of the way that it ended. And I know it's like I should have read the book Firefly Lane first because it's a Kristen Hanna book and I know I would love it, but I haven't read it yet. So it kind of almost makes me like more excited though to try and read it soon, because I think there is 2 books. It's Firefly Lane and then there's another one, I think. So like there's 2 books in this story of these girls, and I'm just like so in love with their friendship, and like the story is just so good. And it's kind of like, it kind of watches kind of like a soap opera to me, but like in a good way. I don't even know. It's kind of like This Is Us, but like not as good, I guess. I might call my mom first to catch up because I haven't talked to my mom in a while, but after that, honey girl, it's happening.
We'll start spring whether it's raining or not, because
yeah.
You know, this snow has kind of given us an idea that, okay, if it's just raining.
I'm about 50 pages into Honey Girl, and so far there's some things with this book that I did not expect, because going into this, all I knew about it was that it's like a female-female romance, and our main character Grace has a PhD in astronomy, and that it's about how she like accidentally marries this girl in Vegas, and that's pretty much all I knew about it going in. But what I didn't realize was that it was going to be like right into the story. Like, the prologue of the book is about her getting married to this girl by accident. And then by chapter 1, we're just kind of like dealing with the aftermath of that situation and dealing with the main character trying to figure out why she did that and who she is and all this kind of stuff. So far this isn't really feeling like a romance to me. It's feeling a lot just more like a contemporary story, which is fine. But I'm not like a huge fan of the writing style. Like, I don't know, there's just like a disconnect for some reason with me in the writing style. I think part of the reason is because this book is told in third person, which I don't usually mind third person. Like, it's not my favorite. I usually prefer first person, and especially in romance novels, I've discovered recently that I prefer first person in romance novels. I think I had the same issue with the last book and I just couldn't verbalize what my issue was. But the last book I just read, The Soulmate Equation, that one was also written in third person. And I don't know why, when it's a romance novel, I just very much prefer to have the writing be in first person, because I want to feel like I'm inside the main character's head. And I don't know why, for some reason, when it's written in third person, it's just really hard for me to connect with like the main character. I know that sounds so dumb, but I feel like for these first 50 pages, I've been trying to get a grasp on like what the heck is happening in this story so far, but there was something really cute that just happened around page 50 that makes me feel like it's starting to go into the direction of like the romance that I was expecting it to go into. You know, having a cozy breakfast at noon. It's actually 12:30, but
You get groceries.
yeah, I actually had to go and get groceries this morning. My dad had to take me to Wingo because there's still snow. But Rachel made her famous egg and avocado sandwich that's so good. We also tried these new hash browns from Wingo, which are apparently fire according to Rachel. And then I have a banana, and Rachel made me coffee again because she's amazing. I never updated you, but last night I actually read up to page 133 of Honey Girl, and I've got to admit, you know, I wasn't a huge fan of the way this book was starting out. I just didn't know where we were going. It was kind of reading more like contemporary fiction or even like literary fiction in a way, but ever since page 50 it has really picked up, and it is so freaking cute. Like, it is everything that I wanted this book to be. Like, the main character's relationship with this girl is just so freaking adorable. Like, I adore them so hard, and in a way it's almost kind of reminding me of the X Talk, since I just recently read the X Talk with the whole like radio thing, because the girl that she's with in this book is kind of on this like radio show in New York. But yeah, it's super cute. I love like what she's talking about on the radio show, and I love how she calls her honey girl. She's like, honey girl, if you're out there listening. Like, it's just, it's so cute. I kind of do like also love our main character Grace, because she's very much a rule follower, you know what I mean? Like, she grew up with these like very strict parents that had these very high expectations of her, and now this is kind of her realizing she might need to just take a moment to like do something for herself and to like breathe, you know, because her parents are just so like, even though she's like almost gonna be 29 years old, they're still just so much like a big part of her life, and they're still controlling so much of what she does. And it's like, now that she has this PhD, she's just like, you know, she doesn't want to like throw herself into the workforce yet. She just wants to like take a minute to really think about what she wants and like who she is. And I just think it's like really stunning and really beautiful so far, and I'm really enjoying it. And it's actually not too long of a book, so I think I'm going to try to finish it this afternoon.
I bought this when Folklore just came out, and now it's missing Evermore, and I'm sad about it. Mr. Tinky wants to snuggle. Oh, how are you feeling today, Tinky? Oh, he's on some meds today. God, this book just mentioned ASMR. I feel so seen. I've never seen a book mention ASMR before. That's so dope.
Been a couple of hours. I just did some yoga, and then I do these like little dance videos afterwards just to like get a good workout in, and it's been so long since I worked out that I'm like so tired after I do them. I just showered and changed, and before that I finished reading Honey Girl, and this book was really cute. I think it was really great. I think I'm gonna give it 4 stars. Part of the reason why I enjoyed this book so much is because, not only because I think the 2 girls in this book were really cute together, and I enjoyed like their banter and the way they talked to each other. I thought was really like, I felt like they were really like straightforward with each other, which I really appreciate, because I feel like that's not something we often get in romance books. Like, I feel like there's so much like miscommunication problems and things like that, but I feel like these 2 girls are really straightforward with each other, which I appreciated. But also, I just think Grace is a really relatable main character. I mean, obviously, like, I love astronomy. If I could have majored in astronomy, like, I totally would have. Like, that would have been a really cool major. And so I relate to her for her like love of space, but then also just like some of her quotes and like the way she feels oftentimes in this book. Like, I highlighted this whole passage where she says, I have to be perfect, I have to be excellent, I have to be the best, I can't be anything else. It makes me feel sick that I'm not. It makes me feel worthless. And I totally understand where she's coming from with that. I feel like it's a part of my like perfectionist type of personality too. Like, I don't know if this is a Capricorn thing, but I know like her birthday's in August, so I guess it's not a Capricorn thing for her. But like, I totally feel that, where like I feel like I have to be the best at what I do, and if I'm not the best, then I get really frustrated with myself and I feel like I'm worthless. Like, I totally feel the same way. Like, I totally understand. And I just feel like at the end of the day, this is more of a story that's about Grace. It's a story about her character and how she's overcoming these feelings of loneliness and like unworthiness, and just kind of like discovering herself. Like, I don't know, I wouldn't really describe this book as a romance personally. I would probably just describe it as like a contemporary coming of age type story. It reads very much like literary fiction at times, because it's just so, some parts are so beautifully written, and then some parts feel more just like your typical romance novel. Like, I don't know, I feel like this is one of those books where you can kind of debate on what the genre of this book should be marketed as, because it can be a mix of things. But I kind of like that when a book doesn't really have to follow the typical tropes of any genre. It's just like its own thing. But yeah, Grace was definitely super relatable in this book, and that was the part of the book that connected the most with me as a reader, just because I related a lot to the different things that she was saying. And I also just adored the relationship happening in this book. I just thought it was really cute. Yeah, I think that just about does it for this reading vlog. You know, I intentionally went into this reading vlog just thinking it was going to be, you know, a romance reading vlog of reading these 3 books, but then I kind of got sidetracked and I wasn't really in the mood for romance for a lot of this month, so I ended up reading 2 other books in this vlog as well. This vlog feels like it's been lasting a lifetime to film because I actually did start 2 other books within this time period of this vlog as well, but I actually didn't end up including both of these books in this video because I started this book, Good Neighbors, and this one's one that I'm really excited to read, but I was feeling kind of slumpy when I was starting this book, and at the beginning of this book there's literally so many characters, so I was getting kind of overwhelmed with all the different characters that I would have to remember, so I kind of set it aside for now. But this is one that I am hoping to get to soon. And then also Little Universes. I did start this book during this video and I am almost 70 pages into this book, but I had to set it aside because this book is really heavy and really sad, and I just don't think I can emotionally handle this book right now, like, not gonna lie. Like, it was just, there were so many quotes that I was like, holy shit. And you know, it's kind of about these 2 sisters who just lost their parents, and the talk about grief and the talk about loss, it's a lot right now, and I just can't handle this emotionally right now. But I want to jump back into this book so badly when I feel like I'm mentally stable enough to do that, just because the writing is so gorgeous, and I just know, I probably know this is going to be like a 5-star book. I can just feel it. It's just, I'm not ready for it right now, and I just need to acknowledge that. But yeah, so out of these 5 books that I did end up reading randomly for this video, I guess my favorite book that I read in these last 2 weeks has definitely been The X Talk. This is the one that I remember the most, and that it's just like the most lighthearted, feel good book. You know, it just made me so happy, and it made me want to listen to podcasts. I've actually been starting to listen to more podcasts since I've read this book. I downloaded the Modern Love podcast from New York Times. I've been listening to that one a little bit, and I don't know, like, this one definitely made me more interested in like romantic podcasts, I guess, because usually the podcasts that I listen to are only like true crime for the most part. And definitely next, I really loved Honey Girl and Concrete Rose. I think these are both really beautiful, really amazing stories. And then, you know, we had a few disappointing reads, but you know, it's fine. But these books weren't terrible. Like, there were definitely some aspects in both of these books that I really enjoyed. It was just, overall, it was a letdown, you know? But yeah, that just about wraps up this totally random reading vlog. And this is pretty much just my reading vlog, I guess, for the first 2 weeks of February. And maybe I'll just do another random reading vlog for the last 2 weeks of February. I don't really know. As I said, work is super busy this month, so I don't really have any official plans or anything like that, and I'm not going to try to put pressure on myself to like make any kind of reading vlogs work right now, just because it's so stressful and so busy at work, and I've been kind of slumpy lately. Like, I don't know why. I just haven't been in the mood to read a lot lately, and I think it's because when I get so busy and stressed out at work, I just don't want to do anything when I get home, except for maybe like watch TV. But anyways, that is all for this vlog. If you've read any of these 5 books, then let me know your thoughts on them, or let me know if you're excited to read any of them. Thank you guys so much for watching as always, and I will see you very soon with a new video.